We have worked with our fellow members of the UN Security Council to impose 2 sets of Chapter 7 sanctions on the Iranian government, and we are now discussing a 3rd Chapter 7 resolution.
Hi, Frank.
Hello, Yasmin.
Frank, this morning Condoleezza Rice announced that they're imposing new sanctions on Iran. Does any of the Gallup data reflect the fact that Americans believe Iran is a real threat?
Indeed, they do. We've asked Americans about their views of countries around the world in a number of different ways. For one thing, Iran is now at the top of the list when we ask Americans favorable or unfavorable impressions, a list of countries. And when we ask Americans what's the country around the world that's the biggest threat to the U.S., used to be Iraq. After March of '03, and in the last couple of years, it has been Iran at the top of the list, ahead of North Korea and China and any other country. So I think in answer to your question, Americans clearly perceive Iran as a danger to the U.S.
Okay, so they think that Iran is a real threat. But what about sanctions? Does that mean that Americans think that the U.S. should impose sanctions on Iran?
Well, we don't have specific data yet, obviously, after Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice's announcement. We actually are going to be interviewing that over the weekend, and we will have new data on that. But reviewing some previous data, it seems to me that Americans probably will strongly support the idea of sanctions.
But we'll have to wait for the new polls to come out.
That's right. We are polling now, asking Americans about the economic sanctions against Iran, and we'll have data at the beginning of the week.